presented by Flip Narrative. And remember, if you don't love your story, flip it.
Where do resellers get their continuous funds from to keep buying inventory if they quit their regular 9 to 5s? Do they get it from their assets or something? That's a good question, Ms. V. This is something I could go on a whole different tangent on, but I'm just going to try to answer the question. So what I usually advise people to do when it comes to trying to get assets, trying to buy stuff and not use cash, especially if you're low on cash, use your credit card. So why I say use your credit card is because that's exactly what I did. If you guys followed the channel for a while, you guys know I was buying a lot of items from Ross, Burlington, Marshalls, and the Nike and Adidas outlet. Majority of 2020 and maybe half of 2019, that's all I did. I barely did any thrifting. And I was able to just leverage my credit, buy a ton of items that were brand new in box, or if it was coming from, discount stores, they were just brand new with tags. And what I was doing at that time was just spending more money for the inventory, racking up on the rewards, but I was also just selling brand new items. And when you're selling brand new items, they tend to sell a little better, especially if you price them correctly. So that's what I did for the majority of 2020 and 2019. And as you guys know, I bought my first home in 2020. So it was beneficial. Like, I was able to really leverage my credit and do it that way. Some people are against credit because they can't necessarily handle it. But here's the kicker. You just need to make sure that the money that you're spending, you can afford to pay off your statement at the end of the month. That's the biggest thing. I don't tell people to get too crazy and anything like that. What really worked for me is the fact that I found a good balance of items that were higher priced and it might take a little while to sell. But what I was doing is I would say I buy a pair of Air Max 95s for $50 from Ross. That same pair might sell in 2 weeks for $120, no fees. So I would basically just take that profit, put it back onto the credit card, make sure I paid my credit card off in full. That way I'm not paying any penalties or anything like that, any interest, any late fees. And I literally did that continuously, nonstop, with the same business credit card for years. Still do that to this day. Everything I purchase is with credit. So that's one way that people do it. Some other people, when it comes to, I don't really know. Some people just buy cash. They're resellers and they just do cash everything. So that's something else that some people do. But for me, I say leverage your credit. Miss V, I just reinvested the profits back into the business for more inventory until I was making enough money to quit my job. Yeah, that's a good, I went through a whole tangent of talking about credit and how I do it, but that's the best way to do it. Just don't spend the profit. And if you're doing it in a way where you're doing this for a living, which I do, I still resell for a living, the best way to do it is literally live below your means. So every month, make sure your monthly payments, make sure all your monthly expenses are paid for, and then put your profits, whatever's left, whether you invest or whatever, make sure that you're just investing back into your business. Whether you spend money on crypto, whether you spend money on your 401k, whatever it is, just make sure you're reinvesting your profits back into your business. So you're the man and so helpful. Thank you. That was nice. I was actually do the same method with my credit cards last year while reselling and paying off debt. Leverage while paying by the statement date. Thank you. Absolutely. That's it. You got to leverage your credit. Some people don't like doing it because, like I said, it's tricky. It's one of those things where, if you don't have the discipline to do it, it could be tough. But if you have a good handle on it, you have a good system running, you have some money in reserve just in case, you have an off month, you could make a ton of money doing that. What do you do when you have a death pile? Boy, I just cleared off my death pile. I still have a significant amount of stuff that, like, it's not necessarily a death pile because it's not like in the way of anything. When I source, I list the easier stuff kind of fast, and then the things that need a stitch or might need cleaning or might need testing, those things tend to take me a little longer. So that's what I call as a death pile. But for months, I just had stuff sitting in my garage on the floor, taking up space. And today I actually finally cleared that space out, put them on the shelves, either got them listed or, got it out of the way so it's not like an eyesore. But when it comes to the death piles, you just got to try to list your items. That's the only advice I got for you. Force yourself to list it. Instead of, I know we all love the thrill of the hunt and running out there and finding new stuff, You literally just got to force yourself to list it, and that's the best way to do it. Sometimes it's nothing wrong with holding on to items as like a reserve, just in case, you know, you're sourcing and there's a slow week or a slow month, and you kind of pull some of those higher ticket items and then you list them. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you have items sitting for months on end that's just untouched and you're like have no intentions of listing, that's a problem. That's literally just you're losing money at that point. So what I like to do is I just try to just get it listed, force myself to list it. I don't leave the house because then I'll be coming back with more things, and just do it that way. 'Cause you feel like